J-Dubb here. It's time to finally establish once and for all, Xbox is in fact evil. Now, after the recent revelations about the new Xbox, a lot of you are all, oh, Xbox is always online and it won't let me trade games or loan games, and all I have to say is, I told you so, neener neener. So, for those of you who haven't been following J-Dubb's Theater since the blogger days, which is almost all of you, I have been trying to get the word out for years that Xbox is evil. Lowe's Xbox Phones! No! See, it all goes back to when I was a kid, and things were simple in the video game console atmosphere. So there was the Atari 2600, and then Nintendo came out with the NES, which was the latest rage and completely replaced the Atari 2600. And it was easy. If you were a kid and you wanted a video game console, you'd have your parents go out and get you a Nintendo. And then Sega comes out with the Sega Genesis, and now we have the console wars. So if you want to play Nintendo games, you have to have a Nintendo, and if you want to play Sega Genesis games, you have to have a Sega Genesis, and then, you know, all the arguments, which is better, Nintendo or Sega Genesis, and blah, 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 blah. It was a bloody, bloody war that waged for many years. And then Sony came along and threw PlayStation into the mix, and so we have like the Super Nintendo, the PlayStation, and the Sega Saturn or whatever at that time. Anyways, after growing up being split between these consoles, this generation grew up and began to realize, wait a minute, now that we're adults, we can actually own more than one console. And so many people like myself realized, oh, I can own the Nintendo system and the Sony system, and, you know, screw the Sega system, that's not cool anymore. So now, you know, we've got our Nintendo and our PlayStation, and things are pretty much at peace. And then Sega comes out with this thing called the Dreamcast. But then, shortly after this, it's announced that Nintendo has acquired Sega. So there will be no more Sega platforms, so now there's only the Nintendo platform and the Sony platform. And so this childhood conflict is finally resolved. There is peace. And then Microsoft comes along and introduces the Xbox. But J-Dubb, if you were so against it, why didn't you just not get an Xbox? Shut up! Xbox is evil. We're talking deep-seated childhood conflict here. And everybody's defense for the Xbox is always, oh, the graphics, blah, blah, the graphics this and the graphics, blah, blah, graphics. Check out the sweet graphics.
Wow, those graphics are amazing. What games does it have?
Check out the sweet graphics! And another deep-seated childhood conflict involving gaming consoles was that once you upgraded to the next console in the cartridge days, your old games became obsolete. But that was no longer a thing once we came out with CD systems. You know, there was much rejoicing at the ability to play your old games on the new system. And then Xbox 2 comes out, and they're like, we're only going to have limited backwards compatibility. You know, just told me Xbox didn't care about me and you. And everybody's like, oh, but Halo's such a fun game. You know, you may like Halo, but liking Halo is not going to save your babies when the evil Xbox baby cannibals come after you. So yeah, I've been warning everybody all this time, and then everybody just goes out and buys their Xboxes anyway. Even certain friends of mine. Sorry, I kind of coughed there. I said Adam.
Cough! Xbox One. Sorry, I have a cough. I'm saying Xbox One.
How did that clip get in this video? So yeah, now the new Xbox is out and everybody's all, oh, but price and always online and trading games. And all I have to say is you should have listened to my rants in my blog that you didn't know existed. Anyways, J-Dubb out.